Hey, what's up everybody? This is Nightwing2303 from SneakerFiles.com and SneakerFiles.com on court. Today we have a really awesome performance review today. It is on the upcoming Air Jordan 2012. These are due out, the full system is due out either on the 8th or the 11th of February, which is going to be this week. And then they're going to be releasing separate systems, which come with one of the midsoles and one of the inner boots. That way you don't have to spend the $223 on the entire choose your flight package. Instead you can literally just choose your flight and keep it within the $180 price range. So, but this is a quick look at the shoe here. We've already gone over these in a previous video, and this shoe is fantastic. So, without wasting too much time, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so as usual we'll start off with the bottom of the shoe here. We have somewhat of a storytelling traction from heel to toe. It is all very consistent. It's basically these little diamond shapes, and then in high wear areas you have these recessed squares that are inside. So basically on the exterior and then right at the ball of the foot area, and then a little bit along the majority of the big toe. These are all areas that are increasingly being worn, whether you're stopping, jab stepping, curling, and all of that kind of good stuff. So they really took care of those high wear test areas with the dual layer of traction, and then not only that, but all of this stuff is a very, very flexible rubber. So this is something that you're not going to be able to see, but it flexes very nicely, grips to the floor, great court coverage. So you're getting the most friction that you could possibly get out of the traction surface. Also with the way that it's shaped, being that all of these little diamonds are so far spaced apart between each line, it allows for whatever dust or debris that gets inside of there to escape rather quickly with each step. So it's almost like it doesn't get trapped in there like it might in a herringbone pattern with the zigzag shapes, because you know how like dust will get lodged inside. It doesn't happen with these, which is awesome. It worked perfectly well no matter what I was doing on the court. I was stable. It worked really, really well. I was very surprised, and the only thing that I have a concern with the traction is just how long it might last. This traction definitely is not something that you want to use outdoors, but if they ever make it to Nike ID, which they might, they did it last year with the 2011, so who knows with these guys here, but the rubber is just really soft, and I don't think it was, or yeah, it was this shoe, but basically like right around this section where I do get a lot of wear, right in the center of the foot and things like that, some of the rubber is starting to peel away. So that's really my only concern, but as far as it working, it did an awesome job. It did just as good as most herringbone patterns could provide you, so I definitely like that. Alright, so with the cushion you have three separate options. You have your fly around, fly over, and fly through. We'll start off with the fly through first. Basically it's just a foam, midsole. Quite a bit different than the Air Jordan 2011s, where these ones had the shank plate underneath the actual foam, and then these ones don't. The foam is embedded underneath the insole, so it's a top-loaded system just like you'd normally have, whereas these guys here don't have an insole. This is a 2-in-1. It's insole and midsole combined, and then all of the cushioning is bottom loaded. That goes for all three systems. So basically you have your full length Max Air system. It works. I personally didn't favor this one most, but we'll get into that in a bit. But basically if you want maximum cushion, this is where you would get it from. It's from the full length Air bag. The only thing is that with full length airbags it's not as flexible, so this is something that maybe a guard would not want. You might want to go with one of these two instead. So, which brings you to the fly over. This is a combo unit, so you have your heel Air Max, and then you have a 4-foot articulated zoom. Basically, with articulated zoom, you're getting different pressure points taken care of on your foot. So if you are hitting with the center, you're curling around a screen, doesn't really matter what you're doing. The articulated zoom is covering you with maximum cushion that is thin, low to the ground, and responsive. So I do like articulated zoom because it's broken up into all these chambers. Flexibility is fairly nice, especially if you are a guard. And then you do have the heel impact protection with the Air Max bag as well. Again, bottom loaded. So that's something that you're going to be seeing here, is that when you step into these, you don't feel that that underfoot cushion that you would in, say, like a Jordan 13, the Jordan 2011, a LeBron 8, things like that. Like, you wouldn't feel that type of comfort. This is more of the comfort that you get while you're playing. So you won't feel it just from a basic try-on. You'll feel the cushion work throughout the game because your body will not be taking so much wear and tear from the ups and downs that you would be receiving, from jumping, running, sprinting, all of that kind of good stuff. Now, this is the fly around. This is actually my favorite of the three. After I tested all three of them, this is the one that I kept going with, and which is surprising because there is absolutely nothing inside of the forefoot. All you have is a bottom-loaded heel zoom bag, and this one offered just the greatest amount of flexibility for the forefoot because there was nothing in there blocking it. So that might have been a reason why I liked it so much. Plus, I do tend to favor foam cushions recently, so I don't know what type of foam these all are. They feel all the same, so it could be all the same stuff. I'm not really sure yet, but as far as what they offer you, 3 different rides. This one's my favorite, being a 1 and a 2. If you're a 2 to a 3, you might want this guy right here, and then if you're a 4 or a 5, this is probably what you're going to want to go with. I enjoyed the entire system. I thought that they were great, but again, I do prefer the fly around most. So as far as the materials and the fit is concerned, I thought that both of them were great. You have 2 different fit options with the inner sleeves, but we'll get into that in a minute. Basically, your solid rubber, your Phylon shell. So this is an empty midsole. It becomes full once you put in the cushion system, and then you have an entire one-piece flywire upper and one-piece, because there's only sewing right here. That's where the entire thing is connected to, and then you have your leather panels overlaid on the high wear areas. These ones have leather, and a couple other colorways will have leather. Some of them have, I think, a nubuck. So I think that the leather is going to be a little bit more durable than the nubucks, but we'll see. But basically, the materials were fantastic. The overlay of leather on top of the flywire really protected the flywire base. This shoe has a pretty decent scuff right here, and then it does go up onto the leather panel up here. This one took much more of a beating. It not only has scuffs here, but then the entire leather panels are pretty chewed up on the top, especially around the forefoot. So this one, my right foot is my main foot, so that's the one that I'm constantly pushing off of. I'm dragging it. The toe is constantly moving like this, and it just protected the materials underneath, which is what it was supposed to do. So I know a lot of people aren't too savvy on the looks, but for what its intended purpose is, this is the way to go. You didn't have too much leather to where it made everything real heavy, real bulky or stiff. Instead, it just had it right where you need it, so you're retaining all of that flexibility where you want it, which is awesome. So the leather panels, flywire, it was great. The flywire also is very flexible, so this stuff is very similar to what you get with like the Kobe 4, or not Kobe 4, Kobe 5 and Kobe 6, which is something that I really liked. So you're not restricted too badly while you're laced up in this shoe. Surprisingly, it feels more like you're not wearing shoes, even though it is a little bit on the heavy side as far as what today's footwear is, like 9.8 ounces and things like that. Like this does weigh a good amount. So as far as the fit is concerned, they do fit true to size, so go with your regular size. Once they're all laced up, you have these little notches cut out right here, which is something that the Air Jordan 2011s were missing. And these are great because they're right at the flex points. So when you are moving and transitioning, you're not loosening up that forefoot fit and compromising the fit in general, which is nice. The materials are sturdy enough to where the shoe retains its shape, which is again really awesome. And then as far as the fit goes, I didn't have any lockdown issues whatsoever. Like period. I laced them all the way up to the top, and I was pretty much good to go. The interior, you obviously have the different boots. So you have two different types of fit. This one is a low top. It really doesn't matter because the shell itself is a mid. So this is the shoe. This is a giant sock. So it doesn't matter which one you choose. This is just for your own peace of mind. If you feel something around your ankle, it sends signals up to your brain, making you think that you are protected, even though, I mean, seriously, you're not protected. This is not a high top, so don't get confused. But this one does offer a more snug fit because of the exterior padding on the heel counter area, especially in the heel. So there is a huge chunk right here that presses against the interior shoe or shell right back here, and it just gives you that more snug and secure fit, which some people might like. I found that the low top sleeve was perfectly fine for me, but if you like having a tighter fit or a more snug and secure fit, this is definitely what you would want to go with. So as far as breathability or ventilation is concerned, the shoe itself, like the shell here, it really didn't offer much of anything. It, like I was saying, it's thin, it's flexible, and all that stuff, which is great. There are some there's these little they're all different shapes, but basically there's just material cut out of the flywire itself. And then they have like some sort of mesh or screen behind that. It's on both sides, so it's on in here as well, right along the edges of the sidewall. That would have offered a decent amount of ventilation, but these leather panels are placed directly on top of it, and in my head it just doesn't translate to a logical way of thinking where airflow is going to be actually utilized by those vents. So this is not really going to offer you much of anything as far as breathability or ventilation. Most of your breathability and ventilation is coming from the inner sleeves. This one more so, just because of the more open spaced mesh. So you're going to get a lot of breathability out of the higher cut sleeve versus the lower cut sleeve. Basically this whole section right here is very breathable, but most of that is covered up by the shoe here. So basically from here down is where that nice open breathable mesh is, and then up top you have that thicker mesh that is decently breathable, but it's not like crazy or anything like that, like something you get with a Sprint Web. So breathability, ventilation, it was okay. I'm going to just say it was mediocre. Nothing too fancy, nothing special, but because the fit was so good, it didn't really matter. My foot wasn't moving or sliding inside the shoe, even though it was a little bit more moist inside. So I didn't have any issues whatsoever with the breathability or ventilation. I thought that it was pretty much adequate and allowed you to take care of what you needed to on court. So as far as support is concerned, basically you have your supportive shell. So once your midsole system and your inner sleeve is in place, it's just like any other shoe. It's not anything like the Air Jordan 2011, which felt a little bit slappy when you're running from heel to toe. Had a little bit too much flex, too much give with all areas of the shoe. and then the fit itself wasn't that great, but these pretty much improved upon everything. You have a TPU layer right here in the toe, so it's a little bit more sturdy. You also have a TPU internal heel counter in the heel here, so again, a little bit more sturdy. And then instead of the embedded carbon fiber inside of the midsole, like what we had right here, instead of having it like that, which still allowed for the outer shell to flex a little bit too much, you have the carbon fiber on the exterior, which allowed for the shoe to flex where you needed it, which is right in the forefoot, and it allowed it to stay firm and in its shape where you needed it, which is basically the rest of the shoe. So I thought that these were great. I really can't say that enough. I was really surprised by these. The 2011s were slightly a letdown, especially for the fit, but these ones they blew them out of the water completely. These are one of my favorite shoes right now. And then a lot of people think, and not just a lot of people, but the brand itself is saying that this is your supportive high cut sleeve. Like I was saying earlier with the fit section, there's no way that you can count this as anything supportive. There's no way. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's a giant sock for your shoe. If that's support, then you fooled me. But it's not supportive. Same thing with that Kobe system. A lot of people are like, oh sweet, we get a high top Kobe. Nope, it's a sock, dude. It's not supportive. So this is for ease of mind. This is something that translates a signal to your brain, letting you know that there is something wrapped around your ankle, so you just automatically assume or feel as if you're secure, which is not the case. You don't get anything supportive or secure out of this. It's all within the shell, and believe it or not, it does its job. Alright guys, so that pretty much takes care of the review on the Air Jordan 2012. Out of the shoes that I've reviewed, or at least played in, I haven't reviewed any this year so far as performance, other than the KD4s. But, as far as a direct comparison to something similar, which would be the Kobe 7, honestly, the Kobe 7 is nowhere near as good as this. It looks a lot better, I'll give you that, but it does not play better at all. So there are things that might beat these out slightly, but in an entire package, an overall package, this sneaker is way better than the Kobe 7 system. These are 10 times better than the Air Jordan 2011, and I think it's awesome when Jordan Brand comes out with a product that actually does what it says it will do, which is perform well on court. So all looks and all that stuff aside, this is a fantastic performance sneaker. They're going to be neck breakers on the court just because they look so weird, but it's definitely something that I would recommend. For me personally, I already know which system I'd choose, which you guys already know as far as the cushioning system and the inner sleeve system. However, I would probably go for the entire Choose Your Flight package again. I'm going to be picking up the UNC colorway, the ones that are all Carolina with the gray accents, and that's the Choose Your Flight package, the entire 3-tier box system. And I personally feel like you get more bang for your buck just getting 3 midsoles. That way you could just keep going through them, see which one you might like more. Same with the boots or the inner sleeves. Just kind of mess with them because they're really great sneakers. They're gonna go on sale, which is inevitable because we all know that nobody purchases the signature lines unless you're either a die-hard Jordan fan or you're a 100% performance nut. So someone like me, I'm always going to be going after the new release signature for those two reasons in general. Is that I'm a die-hard Jordan fan and I'm addicted to performance. So but yeah, these are fantastic shoes, well worth the price. I wouldn't go and buy these for like whatever the resale value is, like $400 or something. I wouldn't do that again, but it's definitely a wonderful shoe, so totally worth it. So far, this is at least a contender for the top one of the top sneakers for the entire year, even though it's only January so far. So sorry again for talking way too much. There's just so much to say with performance, I can't help it. So, but yeah, thank you guys for all your support. Thanks for all the likes, comments, subscriptions. Make sure that you check out my site, SneakerFiles.com/encore. Everything performance related is on there. So, all back here, there's just a bunch of stuff that I've been going through. The Mellows, the Chris Pauls, these Hirachi B-Ball 2012s. Got Zig Tech Encore or Zig Encore, and then back there's the Hyper Enforcer, and there's other stuff too, the Kobe 7s, all that stuff. So I'm getting through everything as quickly as possible, so just be patient. If you need updates and things like that, you can always hit me up on SneakerFiles.com/encore, and I will not only respond to your comments, but you can just check out the content that we have on there, and you know, you can get your little performance fix over there until the full review is done. So thank you guys again. Hopefully you guys go out and buy these things because they're phenomenal, and if you do end up playing in them, let me know how you feel about them, because I think that they're awesome. So thanks again. Thanks for listening as usual. So until next time, guys, have a good one.